俺は強くなりすぎたんだ。誰と戦っても何も感じないし。
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most popular anime that failed to live up to their potential.
自分の命さえ自由にできないのなら死んじまえってな。
Number 10, The Devil is a Part-Timer, Season 2.
いらっしゃいませ。ご注文をどうぞ。ビッグマグロバーガーのセット、ポテトとコーラ L サイズで10個ください。
This is probably the only anime where you'll see Satan working at a fast food chain. As you can probably surmise, The Devil is a Part-Timer is a hilarious fantasy romp, to the point where 13 episodes just wasn't enough. So when the first season ended, fans sat back and eagerly waited for more, and waited and waited. Then after an entire decade off the air, Season 2 finally hit the screen, and it wasn't exactly worth the fanfare.
すまない。思いつきとしては浅はかだったようだ。
いや、お前らがアラスラムスのこと考えてやってくれたんなら文句言う筋合いはねえよ。
Despite having nearly twice as many episodes, the show somehow managed to be really boring. Don't even get us started on that animation downgrade. It's no wonder Satan doesn't want to clock in anymore.
そっか、なら決まりだな。明日あいつが来たら徹底抗戦だ。
Number 9, Tokyo Ghoul Season 2. After a brilliant debut season that somewhat faithfully adapted the manga's blood, guts, and hardship, Tokyo Ghoul decided to do its own thing for the follow-up. That's when things got really ghoulish.
Boy. 私を呼んでくれたら青霧の好きにはさせなかったのに。
Right from the get-go, you can practically feel the lack of direction. The action is mindless, the plot goes nowhere, and the characters do things just for the hell of it. It's maddening because the manga was right there, and they simply didn't follow it. In fact, the adaptation screwed up the story so bad, the third season had to do a soft reboot just to salvage the continuity. At this point, it's probably best to just let Tokyo Ghoul rest in peace. Number 8, Digimon Adventure Try. To commemorate the series' 15th anniversary, Digimon brought back the original cast for a third trek into the digital world. A trek that turned out to be very, very bumpy.
Come on, you guys! You have to save everyone! Do it!
Stretched out across 6 feature-length films, the story is a contrived mess that misses out on the adventure part of Digimon Adventure. To be fair, there is some novelty in seeing the gang's true megas finally appear in canon, but it's hard to appreciate them when they're backed up by borderline non-existent character arcs.
Izzy, I want to Digivolve too, but I don't know how to do it. Do I have a megaform?
Yeah, you bet.
Can we do it?
Sure.
In a way, that's a good way to describe most of Try's problems. While the series certainly has its moments, after 15 years, good enough just doesn't cut it.
The city was really a mess, as you know, and all the damage is taking a long time to fix. But life is slowly getting back to normal around here.
Number 7, Yashahime, Princess Half Demon.
名前は日暮とは。あいにくだけど、ヤシャ姫なんかじゃないよ。
Inuyasha is one of anime's most beloved properties, so surely they wouldn't mess up the sequel series, right? Wrong. Anyone who turned on Yashahime expecting that classic Inuyasha charm was left sorely disappointed.
なんだか懐かしい眺めですな。
帰ろうか。子供たちが待ってる。
In fact, the only thing remarkable about Yashahime is how remarkably average it is. Everything from its plot to its villain to its characters are incredibly middle of the road. If this were an original anime, that wouldn't be an issue. But when you're following up a legendary tale like Inuyasha, fans expected more, especially since you're effectively retconning the near-perfect original ending. If this is what an Inuyasha sequel had to look like, they shouldn't have even bothered.
人里はだいぶ離れたが。
Number 6, Psychopath Season 2. Continuing a breakout here is no easy feat. When you do it the wrong way, it looks a lot like the second season of Psychopath.
東金さんと雛川さんは犯人の追跡を。ここは私が対処します。
In an attempt to keep the gravy train rolling, the series underwent so many creative shifts, it's almost unrecognizable. The most glaring sin is that Kogami, one half of the series' leading duo, is nowhere to be found. Instead, Akane partners with the bratty Mika, who eats up screen time like it's her job.
先輩あなたは間違っています
That doesn't leave much room for the actual investigation, although even that is a letdown in the end. While you can admire the series' creative swings, it's clear that the Psychopaths fans loved ended with Season 1.
決着をつけようとしている
Number 5, The Rising of the Shield Hero, Season 2.
シールドフェル
Using his trusty shield, Naofumi exceeded everyone's expectations to deliver a pretty great action anime. But then Season 2 happened and the shield hero didn't rise. He fell flat on his face.
直文様
分かった
Like a switch had been flicked, the once interesting narrative became a dull snooze fest full of flat characters and abysmally slow pacing. Pair that with noticeably lower production values, and it's no wonder viewers felt cheated. They were promised a fun, high-octane adventure and got, well, whatever this is instead.
めちゃくちゃだよっぽど腹が減ってるのか
For what it's worth, Season 3 did its best to bring the show back to its former glory, but the damage is so severe, it might be too little too late. Number 4, The God of High School.
どうしたじゃないでしょいい加減にしなさいよあんた
Based on an incredibly popular Korean webtoon, The God of High School had all the ingredients to become anime's next big hit. Unfortunately, not even Jin Mori's moves could live up to those lofty expectations. If there's one nice thing to say, it's that the God of High School doesn't cut corners on the fights, but good animation doesn't excuse the hollow, rushed, and way too familiar storyline. Altogether, it makes the God of High School feel like empty calories, fun at the time, but without any substance. Don't get us wrong, it's still completely watchable, but it's hard to get past the feeling that it could have been so much more.
バカまだ動ける体じゃねえくせに
バカだよな
死ななきゃ治らないらしいからね
Number 3, Berserk.
何すんだよこにゃろ
あんまりペラペラ話しかけるな潰すぞ
Almost 20 years, that's how long people waited for a new Berserk television series. And how was their patience rewarded? With this 2016 continuation, a 3D monstrosity that buries Berserk's identity beneath a metric ton of janky camera movements. It's not just ugly, it's genuinely nauseating to look at for too long.
いやつくづく神様とかそういうのと相性悪いんだなと思ってよ
The worst part is that, if you close your eyes, you can still find a slither of promise in Berserk's faithful adaptation of the manga. Had they refined their CG a bit more, or God forbid, gone back to 2D, this show could have been genuinely great. Instead, it lives on as a big fat stain on an otherwise iconic legacy.
ガツ
変わった思考だな
Number 2, One Punch Man Season 2.
驚いた災害の方からお前のところにやってきたぜキングには怪人とか怪獣を引き寄せる何かがあんのかもな
Turns out the One Punch Man was also a one-hit wonder, at least as far as his animation goes. See, Saitama first impressed audiences with his heart, humor, and penchant for the best-in-class fight scenes, but his legions of supporters went silent when Season 2 dropped, with noticeably stiffer visuals. Then again, that's what happens when you change both your production company and director in between installments.
暇だったから
暇だったんだ
Now, One Punch Man Season 2 isn't awful looking by any means, and the gut-busting punchlines do some serious heavy lifting to keep things entertaining, but compared to the breathtaking first season, it's hard to call this sophomore slump anything other than disappointing. Saitama deserves better.
いろいろ起きてるんだってよ
そうなんだ
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Promised Neverland Season 2.
全ての始まりはこの約束だ。
The first season of The Promised Neverland went down as one of the best anime of 2019. There was absolutely no reason to think its sequel would be any different, but then it aired, and people realized they were deviating from the manga. First, a cut character here, and then a truncated plotline there, until suddenly, they were wrapping up the whole series in a single unsatisfying episode.
今度は一人で行かせないよ。
Then, as if to rub salt in the wound, The Promised Neverland says goodbye by cramming half the manga into a farewell montage. By the time the credits roll, this thriller only has one question left to answer. What in the world were they thinking?
ただいま、みんな。
Which anime left the worst taste in your mouth? Commiserate with us in those comments below.
俺も行くわ。じゃあな。
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.